Be honest, you're tired. Not physically, existentially. Tired of thinking about yourself, how you're coming across, whether you said the wrong thing, whether you're falling behind, whether you're enough. You wake up and within minutes the mental commentary starts. What needs to be done, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be improved. You call it responsibility, you call it growth, but notice something. Even when nothing is actually wrong, there is still tension. Even on a quiet day, there is a subtle pressure running in the background, as if you're carrying yourself all the time, as if you're managing a project called me. And it's exhausting, because this project never ends. There's always a better version to become, a flaw to correct, a reaction to analyze, a future to secure. Now here's the question most people never ask. Who is this constant effort for? Who exactly is being improved? Stay with that for a moment. Not as a philosophy, just as a direct observation. The sense of me you're protecting, where is it? Is it something solid, or is it a stream of thoughts about a person? Try something simple. The next time a thought appears, ask quietly, who is thinking this? An answer will come, me. Then ask again, who is this me? Don't rush to answer, just pause, look, not intellectually directly. If you really pay attention, you may notice something unexpected. The me that claims the thought is itself just another thought. There isn't a thinker behind the thinking. There is thinking, and then a thought that says, I'm thinking. See this clearly even once, and something loosens. The project of maintaining me starts to feel lighter. And if that loosens even slightly, what remains? Not a new identity, not a better personality, just a kind of quiet. Not dramatic, not spiritual, just simple. And from there, something becomes obvious. Awakening doesn't turn you into someone new. It doesn't upgrade you. It simply reveals what has always been here. Now look at the world. Conflict, tension, endless noise. It can feel almost absurd to say that underneath all of it there is peace. That the ground of reality is quiet, whole. But that quiet isn't an escape. It's not a spiritual idea layered on top of chaos. It's what remains when the noise isn't believed. All your life you've been living inside the story of me, a separate self moving through time. Trying to secure comfort, trying to fix things, trying to become enough. Awakening isn't becoming better, it's seeing through the story. You don't become enlightened. You notice you were never what you thought you were. And when that clicks, something relaxes. The world may look the same, but the pressure is gone. Most people never ask why they would need to wake up. Life seems straightforward. Get through the day, solve problems, improve circumstances. But what if the problems aren't personal? What if the one who's trying to fix everything is just an assumption? From early on, a quiet conditioning sets in. You're taught you are a name, a body, a history, a psychological profile. You build an identity out of memory and expectation. In the ancient Vedic teachings, later echoed in Advaita Vedanta and even in Buddhism, this veil has a name, Maya, a kind of perceptual overlay, a convincing appearance that says, you are this separate character in a world that might not be safe. It doesn't mean the world is fake. It means the way you experience yourself in it might not be what you think. So you live as a person with a biography and a future to protect. You worry about how you're seen. You try to secure love. You panic when things fall apart because it feels like it's happening to you. You spend years trying to improve your life. The right job, the right partner, the right mindset. Sometimes it helps, for a while. Then the familiar restlessness returns. The subtle sense that something is still missing. Because the issue was never the job, or the partner, or the city. The tension comes from believing you are a separate self who needs to hold itself together in order to be okay. That separate self, as you imagine it, isn't solid. It's a mental construction held together by repetition. Until that's seen clearly, life becomes an endless attempt to rearrange the dream. Awakening does not make the world disappear. The same responsibilities remain, the same people show up, but the feeling of being trapped inside events begins to dissolve. Anger arises, it's noticed, it passes. Fear appears, it's seen, it fades. Not because you suppress it, because you're no longer claiming it as me. There is nothing to defend. The imaginary center isn't running the show anymore. As this deepens, the mind settles into its proper place, not as a master, as a tool. It quiets down on its own because it no longer has to maintain an identity. And in that quiet, something very simple becomes obvious, a presence that was always here, not dramatic, not mystical, just steady. Peace doesn't depend on better circumstances. It doesn't require a retreat or a lifestyle change. It's available exactly where you are. Your discomfort isn't in the way, it's the doorway. If you stop resisting this moment even briefly, something subtle reveals itself. A stillness untouched by your personal history, a silence that doesn't care about outcomes. At first, the change is quiet. Situations repeat, but your reactions soften. The need to win arguments fades. The urge to fix yourself relaxes. A different kind of confidence appears, not superiority, not certainty, just the absence of comparison. When something difficult happens, a simple question can arise. Who is this happening to? It's happening to the body, to the mind, but what you are is the space in which both appear. Seen this way, fear begins to lose its weight. Reputation, finances, opinions no longer feel like threats to something essential, because what's essential was never at risk. Over time, identification with the body and mind loosens naturally. They keep functioning, life continues, but they're no longer mistaken for who you are. There is no need to make this into a new identity, no need to call yourself consciousness or higher self. The moment you turn it into a label, it becomes another story. What you are exists before language. Searching stops, not because you gave up, because you see there was nowhere to go. Nothing is gained, nothing is added. You don't become enlightened. You realize you've always been that. The whole movement is an undoing, seeing instead of acquiring, letting go instead of achieving. Many people think they need a different environment, a simpler life, a quieter place, but wherever you go, the sense of me goes with you. If you argue in the city, you'll argue in the mountains. If anxiety follows you in one relationship, it will likely follow into the next. The pattern continues until the believer in the pattern is questioned. When you see that the person you thought you were is just an idea, and what you were chasing has always been present, something opens. So stay where you are, outwardly, inwardly. Be still enough to notice movement. Watch what pulls your attention. Gradually, without force, the noise thins, and what remains isn't something you discover. It's what you are.